Good morning everyone, my name is Michelle, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another video. It is Wednesday morning the 15th of October and I want to cover two cases this morning, which is always a little bit dangerous. When I cover more than one case in a video, views tend to be low because people might be only following one of the cases or none of the cases and just don't want to listen to part or even all of the video. But two little boys went missing within a week of each other. Very different parts of the world, opposite sides of the world almost. One little boy in Alberta, Canada, and another little boy in South Australia. And there is no sign, no sound of them, even though the families claim to have been very close by. So we're going to talk about Darius MacDougall from Alberta in Canada and Gus Lamont from South Australia. We're going to cover the basics of the case, where we're up to, and in each case there's more known about the families now. In Darius's case, the family have released a statement. So that's what we're going to do. Let's go. Before we get into that, can I just ask, if you're not yet subscribed, please do so. I'm trying to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Subscriber increase has kind of slowed down, so I'm nervous I'm not going to reach it by the end of the year. But with your help, I can. So please subscribe. What have you got to lose? It's completely free and it will help me get the silver play button plaque that YouTube will send me when I reach that milestone. Okay, so I've covered both of the cases, but not for a little while. This little boy here on your screen is Darius MacDougall, and he was camping with his family, very remote area, and he was right there. The way that the family describe it is that they were there, little ways away. Darius and a bunch of other kids were playing, and then the other kids came back and Darius didn't. They went out looking for him straight away and they didn't find him, and he's still gone. So we're going to read this statement here with some quotes from the RCMP. All this went down on September 21st after searching an area of 22 square kilometres from where Darius was last seen. There's no trace of little 6-year-old Darius. So Adam Kennedy from Search and Rescue Alberta told the media on the 1st of October, at this point, if Darius is still in the search site, it's our belief he's no longer alive. The challenging reality is sometimes we need some help from luck or fate or a higher power, depending on what we believe, said RCMP Superintendent Rick Jane. This was a tragedy. RCMP and Search and Rescue Alberta are demobilising their commands. This is back in October the 1st. So they searched for a few days and determined that Darius is no longer alive. However, there has been a lot of locals mobilised on a Facebook group, which I'll show you in a minute, who have been out searching. Please trust that we are still here for the family of Darius, said RCMP Public Information Officer Corporal Gina Slaney. Our victim family liaison officers, in consultation with family members, have developed a plan to ensure the family continues to receive timely updates as the investigation continues. So this is the Facebook group who have been doing a lot to publicise Darius's case, but also to initiate searches for themselves. So we'll look at a little bit of that in a minute, but this is from the admin. This is 20 hours ago as I record this. The family has decided to release a statement as a whole and answer some questions, because there's been a lot of questions. The family have been very, very quiet, apart from Darius's mother, who has been posting a lot on Facebook. First, the family requested privacy, not to hide or keep secrets, but to safeguard themselves from the majority of the public that only have intentions to cause harm. We do understand there is a huge portion of you that genuinely care, and we have worked together to release some information to the public that has been requested. The family went camping, arriving at the Livingston Crownland Campground September 19th this year. There was grandfather, grandmother, aunties, uncles and cousins present to celebrate a few birthdays in the family. Darius was present with his father Dallas and his girlfriend Buffy. So Dallas's girlfriend Buffy. Kaya, Buffy's daughter, was there as well. The mother, Megan, was not present. The family was packing up to get ready to leave the morning of September 21st. The kids were playing on the island adjacent to the camp just across the creek where the adults could see them. Darius, Kaya and an unnamed cousin were walking and playing together with other kids close by when Darius went missing. They turned their backs and Darius was gone. The kids immediately notified camp and father and grandfather took off in opposite directions looking for Darius, while grandmother called 911. Search and rescue was setting up within 20 minutes. So how long had Darius actually been missing before searches got on the ground? Probably not that long if the kids notified the camp that Darius was missing quickly, but he just vanished. We searched long into the night the first day, hoping for a quick resolve in a very scary incident. The family has searched tirelessly, with extreme effort often going until they physically couldn't go any longer. We worked side by side with search and rescue, eliminating each section of the map. Buffy spent hours searching with the family, while Dallas remained at camp as per RCMP's request. Megan came up to the mountain as well and was working with RCMP at all times. Everyone was cooperating and working with the RCMP at all times. When search and rescue was called off and the public remained without answers, they naturally turned on the family with suspicion and accusations. I haven't actually seen that many accusations and horrible things as you do in some cases. However, I think this group, I'm only in this group, in Darius's case, and they've been good at keeping like the negative stuff to a minimum. Whether the family have been contacted privately and horrible things have been said to them, I don't know. But look, they were camping. There's no evidence at all of any form of foul play. This was taken away from the search for Darius, so again the family was attempting to safeguard themselves and the other young children involved. Unfortunately, with Kaya's passing in a separate tragic event. I didn't know that. Instead of the mother being focused on grieving a tragic loss, the community has chosen to attack her. I didn't know this. Buffy is heartbroken, as with everyone in the family. No one could have expected this outcome. Out of respect for Kaya and the family, we will not be commenting on this and will not be part of this page, as it's a very separate tragedy. This was an unexpected, horrible tragedy for the family, already feeling broken from Darius's disappearance. We would like to thank the staff of Pincher Creek, Stars and Albert Children's Hospital for the love and care of Kaya and the family. Please remember to lead with kindness and compassion. That's Darius, bless him. Oh, cute little boy. Okay, so again, this group have been really good in mobilising. They got a search organisation, Canadian Canine Search Corps, who have a page of their own. Canadian Canine Search Corps are not-for-profit organisations that specialises in training and deploying dogs for human remains detection. So they've got some of their dogs on scene here for Darius and did 3 days of searching. The admin of this group says 3 days of searching with cadaver dogs comes to an end. Unfortunately, we did not have any conclusions come out of this, but more questions. Any important details from the search will be released to the public. Another huge thank you to Canadian Canine Search Corps and Alex McNeil for their support in getting answers for the family. Family is looking into all possibilities and would like to focus on sharing Darius across Canada at this point, with no indicators he's in the area. As stated previously, and is common knowledge, the campground and highway were not locked down properly during critical hours of Darius going missing. There is a chance he is no longer in the area, and we are asking the public to share his photos and place his poster everywhere. We have not lost hope to bring you home. So I'm assuming those are the tracks from the dogs. I'm guessing. I'm assuming that's the point last seen. This is a post from during the search. Thank you to everyone that made it out yesterday to assist in the search. We cannot show our gratitude enough. We did not find anything of substance in the search, but we were able to cover the campground and around the highways. A very special thank you to 2 separate canine cadaver teams that have reached out. First to Alex McNeil for his team of 5, including the dogs that came down yesterday. Thank you for everything you've done for the family and continue to do. Second to Canadian Canine Search Corps for reaching out as well and sending in their team for multiple days. They will continue to be in the area for the next 2 days to cover more ground. Please be respectful of the team and remain out of the area until Tuesday. Please consider reaching out to either to donate to their organisations to assist families in need. Look, again and again and again and again, despite searches by all different kinds of tools, including dogs, people remain missing. So I'm not going to say that Darius isn't in that area. There's a possibility he isn't, but I'm not going to say that he isn't. It's very, very difficult terrain. Tragic, absolutely tragic. Please leave this family alone if you've been sending them nasty messages and stuff. Please don't do that. Absolutely tragic. All right, let's move over now to Gus Lamont from South Australia. Gus was playing on a sheep station. It's in the middle of nowhere, about 40 kilometres south of Yunta, near a little dirt pile. And there's no sign. There was one boot print that they thought was Gus's, but the cops have shed some doubt on that now. Gus went missing on September 27th, so just 6 days after Darius in Alberta. And they did a 2-kilometre zone around the point last seen and came up with nothing. They stopped the search and then they've come back. So as of Monday this week, so as of 2 days ago, there's a whole investigative task force now that has been set up to find Gus. And I just want to play this from Mail Online. And don't need the sound on, but it just shows you just how remote this place is. So this is Yunta. This place has like a gas station, a pub, a shop, and not much else. And then the sheep station, which we'll talk about in a minute, where Gus went missing from, is 25 miles or 40 kilometres south of this. And the amount of people that are now involved in this task force is crazy. This is exactly what we need, this kind of mobilisation. Australia don't do things by halves, honestly. Do you remember little Cleo Smith that went missing? Was that 2021 or 2022? I can't remember. The amount of work that went into recovering Cleo safely was immense. This is just so many people have descended on this remote sheep station to find little Gus. So I'm going to read this article here. The family's interesting. The family dynamic is interesting in this case. An investigative task force has been set up more than 2 weeks since the disappearance of 4-year-old Gus Lamont from an outback sheep station. Police and army personnel resumed scouring the harsh landscape on Tuesday in their search for the boy who went missing at the Oak Park Station homestead on September 27th. The search radius has almost doubled from its original 2 kilometres, so they're thinking that he's walked further than the 2 kilometre zone, which he could well have. You know, this little boy lives in this remote area. He's comfortable with this area. He could easily have wandered off and he's gone further than they think. So police confirmed on Tuesday they will be looking an extra 2.5 kilometres to 3 kilometres further out. And a kilometre is 0.6 miles. So 2.5 kilometres is a mile and a half. Something like that. Daily Mail was told at least 80 Australian Defence Force personnel joined police as they returned to the area in an apparent reverse of approach after the search had been scaled back on October the 4th. The State Emergency Service also joined the effort, many on all-terrain vehicles. There is still no sign of Gus after he vanished from the front yard of his grandparents' homestead. He was last seen playing in a makeshift sandpit about 5 p.m, but was missing when he was checked on 30 minutes later. So he had 30 minutes. How far can a kid who is used to that terrain, and it's largely flat, go in 30 minutes? I would imagine if he had, he was on a mission I could imagine he could walk further than 2 kilometres, which is about 1.2 miles, in 30 minutes. If he was on a mission, like going somewhere, I don't know. The newly established Task Force Horizon, made up of 12 specialists, will analyse all information from the search and provide advice on the ongoing operation. This is what we need in all cases. This is great. As the search resumed, Daily Mail made an eerie discovery just 400 metres from his grandparents, Shannon and Josie Murray's house. So the headline, the spine-chilling find just metres from the spot. Yeah, it's an old grave site. I don't think this is chilling at all. A meticulously maintained grave is partially hidden amongst the stand of scrub behind a fence, with the cross-shaped headstone revealing a baby boy had previously perished in the area. Yeah, 1917. Dear me. Daily Mail, honestly. So you can see how remote that is. But it looks like, you should be able to see him. But these patches of scrub are actually quite high. If you look at how high they are in relation to the searchers, they're like knee high. So a little boy, if he was lying down, he was injured or something, you wouldn't see him until you were right up upon him. It's understood Shannon and Josie, who were the grandparents, inherited Oak Park Sheep Station from Shannon's parents, Vincent, a World War II prisoner of war, and Claire Pfeiffer. So Shannon is the grandmother. She inherited the sheep station from her parents. On the headstone, under the words, My Jesus Mary, the inscription shows that John Smolacombe passed away aged 8 months in July 1917. It's not known if the child is an ancestor of Gus and his family. Claire's maiden name was Jones. So Daily Mail have gone into the family tree here. We've actually got a family tree in this piece. If Gus is somehow still alive, the property may one day be passed to him. Gus's mother Jessica and his 1-year-old brother Ronnie also live at Oak Park. His father, Joshua Lamont, resides 2 hours away in a ramshackle farmhouse in Bellerley North near Jamestown. There's some kind of friction in this family that Joshua doesn't want his kids to be living there, but instead they're living there. So he's furious and absolutely devastated that this has all gone down. Gus's family remain stoic and are cooperating with investigators, South Australia Police Commissioner Grant Stevens said. So you can see, actually, this scrub is higher than you think. So, yeah, although it's largely flat, it's still very harsh terrain. This is the family tree here. So Vincent and Claire had the homestead. Then that was passed to Shannon, who married Robert Murray, who transitioned from male to female in 2015, later known as Josie. So Josie is Gus's biological grandfather, but she identifies as a woman and is named Josie. So they're Jessica's parents, and then you've got Jessica and Joshua, who are Gus and Ronnie's parents. And there they are. Those are the parents. Commissioner Stevens added, there is no evidence Gus met with criminality. Our focus is largely on an exhaustive search of the property on the basis that Gus has wandered off, and we are hopeful that we can find him and return him to his family. But we also have an obligation to consider all possibilities, that's part of our work going forward, to make sure nothing has been left unaddressed. He said the task force consists of search coordinator specialists, medical specialists and survivability specialists. We are looking for up to 2 days. The resources we are deploying may change, and the use of specialist drones will be another consideration. So are they going to only do 2 days? I mean, look, it's a massive effort, but still. In a testament to the dusty, harsh terrain searchers are dealing with, some army vehicles briefly lost touch with the convoy amid a blinding shower of dust along the track between Yunta and Oak Park on Tuesday morning. A media vehicle was also damaged in a separate incident. So Gus has long blonde hair, it's curly, was last seen wearing a grey sun hat along with a blue t-shirt with a yellow minion on the front, light grey, long pants and boots. There's Oak Park Station. It's north of Adelaide. Let's listen to this.
The search radius for Little Gus has now almost doubled. When it began, it was around 2 kilometres from the homestead. Now it's about 5 kilometres. Oak Park Station is around 45 kilometres from the Barrier Highway, which is the nearest major road. The track is rough and it has so far damaged several vehicles coming out to either cover the story or attend the search. Just yesterday, we were told that a couple of Army personnel trucks managed to actually get separated from the rest of their convoy because the sand that is kicked up by all these vehicles is so thick that they actually lost touch with each other for a little while. Many people are asking the same question. Why have they resumed the search now? Did police get new information, or did senior commanders call off the search too soon? Either way, the push to find Gus is back on, and slowly but surely, the details of Gus's family are being pulled into the spotlight. Gus's devastated family remain stoic and are cooperating with the police investigation.
You can imagine just how they're feeling, without having Gus and without having answers as to exactly where Gus is and what's happened to him. This would be traumatic for any family.
It's understood that Shannon and Josie inherited Oak Park Station from Shannon's side of the family. Her father, Vincent, was a World War II hero who was a prisoner of war on the Thai-Burma Railway, and her mother was Claire. Grandparent Josie also happens to be transgender. Josie, who was formerly known as Robert, appeared to begin her gender transition after the death of Vincent Pfeiffer, Shannon's father. The town has been accepting of her choice, according to a Yunta source who I spoke to recently. It is unclear if Josie and Shannon's marriage is still intact after her transition, but they do still live together here at the homestead. The family is incredibly private and actually took them 6 whole days to release a photo of little Gus after he went missing, which they were criticised for on social media. Gus's mother Jessica, whose own long blonde curly hair is very similar to that of her son's, also lives here on the homestead together with her 1-year-old son Ronnie. Gus's father, Joshua Lamont, lives separately to the family and does not live here on the station. Instead, he lives in Belaley North near Jamestown, which is around a 2-hour drive away. Joshua is said to have a commuter relationship with his partner Jess. We understand that he travels between his home in Belaley North and the homestead here, but the word among sources in the region that are close with Joshua say that he doesn't quite get on with his parent-in-law, Josie. It's understood that Josh only found out that his son was missing after police woke him up at his Belaley North farmhouse hours after Gus had gone missing. I spoke to Gus's grandparent, Josie, last week, who said, "We're still looking for him. You can't help. We are still dealing with this."
This case has had some attention by unscrupulous people on social media who generated this AI picture of Gus being kidnapped. Absolutely not true. Not true at all. This is fake news. So please don't fall for any of these tall stories. That sheep station, Oak Park, is so remote. The chance of Gus being abducted by anybody is minimal. It's miles away from the nearest highway. The cops say there's no evidence at all of foul play, so Gus is out there somewhere. Probably no longer alive, but he is out there somewhere. So I hope they find him at least so that he can be brought home. As with Darius in Canada. So, have you been following either of these cases? Let me know your thoughts in the comments and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.